Hey everybody, it's Robbie from Missouri Worm Supply. We're going to do a little succession planting here using worm castings. A lot of people out there, and a lot of people that we know, in the spring they plant their gardens up, and I'll show you. They plant their gardens up, and they get everything looking real good, and that's it. Once they harvest, like we pulled all the potatoes out of here. That's it for the year. You need to look into succession planting. There's still plenty of time into the year throughout the winter to plant more food. News break. Let me break in. Hey guys, I was talking about succession planting, and I do understand there's a whole bunch of newer gardeners out there who don't understand that. Let's use broccoli for an example. You can plant broccoli early in the spring, just like everybody else. You get your broccoli flowerets, and then it's done. You might get a couple more, but once it gets hot and they bolt, it's done for. So if you've got, let's say, a 4-foot by 8-foot garden bed, and you harvest everything in there, that may be in May, or, it could be May, June, something like that. There's no sense in letting that bed sit empty all the way till next spring. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, any kind of brassicas actually do better in the winter. So you can get that early spring harvest, and then come late season around July to August, you can still plant. What we do is we start our seeds indoors, and when they get about yay big on the broccoli and Brussels sprouts, if it's not mid-August and it's, Satan's living room temperature outside, we put our plants out there. Now, as it gets cooler, the broccoli tastes better to us. The broccoli tastes better to us in the wintertime than it does in the summertime. It seems to be sweeter. I think it's in cooler temperatures. Anyway, don't leave empty garden beds. You have plenty of season to garden. So once you pull a crop out, have a backup plan. You know that this plant's going to take 30 days to harvest, so you need to have something to go in that spot in 30 days. Keep that one in mind. You get more food. So if you've got this bed here, like I said, we just pulled potatoes a couple weeks ago. We let the bed rest for a little bit. Now we're going to put our second batch in here. What we like to do is we run 2 plantings of corn, sweet corn. We like using the early season corn, peaches and cream early season. It's a short growing season, so we can grow it from early spring till now. We harvest, which we just harvested out here in one of our beds, but now we can plant again. And then by August, this stuff will be ready to pull again. You can plant anything you want in here. This just happens to be corn. So I'm going to show you what we do here. I'll probably wind up speeding the camera up on this part. Let's get this bed prepped. First thing we're going to do is you can see we got a couple weeds in here. We like this type of hoe. These saddle hoes, there's a lot of different names for them. Go ahead and get those roots of those weeds, get them chopped up there. Incorporate those in, get that air to those roots, and they're done for. It's a lot faster than going through and pulling weeds. And those weeds will actually just become part of the soil. All right, as you guys can see, we have these pineapple cherries that are falling off this tree. And you guys are familiar with these. They grow as a husk. This whole husk falls to the ground and protects the fruit. When you open this up, this tastes between a sweet cherry, pineapple, and a tomato. Really, really good. Very, very sweet. They drop down everywhere. We have volunteers all over the yard because of these. All right. So anyway, we got our bed ready. What we like doing, coming in, I just took some of our castings from the bins. I'm going to overcast. We're going to put about a gallon worth of castings on this bed. A little goes a long way, folks. We'll do about a gallon on here. That's it. All right. Now I'm going to incorporate that into the soil. The UV rays from the sun is your worst enemy. Like it gives people cancer. it kills the bacteria and the microbes in those castings. We'll get that stuff in there. Now our beds are all organic, if you will. They are, it's 100% compost, which is eucalyptural gardening. Everything in here was once alive. There's none of that American-Go crap in there. That, yeah, stuff you can go buy from the store that was made in a lab in China or something. Yeah, that's not in here. All right. That's in there pretty good. Let's show you the second way we use the casting. Our seed starting tray with our little baby corns. I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer. Alright, so we're going to start over here where we're going to start planting. We'll start over here. I dig a little hole, put a little handful of castings in that hole, and you put your food in there, and cover that up. Now you fed that. It's ready to go. Each one of these holes, I put a little handful, about a quarter cup, and then we cover them up, pack them in there. We do this for each one here. Alright, I'm kind of hanging over the edge here. I'll put all this in. We're feeding each one of these plants, giving them a great start. This is a good thing you can be doing for your garden. I'll put you on pause. I'm going to go ahead and finish this bed. Hey guys, if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Alright guys, so we've got all this corn planted. As you remember, we put castings up underneath each plant. We also overcast the castings, and then now we're going to water this stuff in. At this point, this is where everybody's usually like using one of those really high dollar sprayers. Yeah, I got one of those and I just broke it. So now I'm going to use the one I was built with, the thumb. This is where you want to get this bed really good, because you're watering in the plants you just put in, get all those guys settled in, but you're also incorporating all those castings. Even down here where I got castings, but I've run out of corn. Any of those castings that are on top, I'm flushing that microbiology down into the soil. That way, again, the sun, UV rays does not, we're not depleting everything before the corn gets a chance to take it in. All right, that ought to be good. We got a little rain coming. Alright guys, that's just another way you guys can use castings. So just remember, there's more than one way at the beginning of the year. You've seen us, we've used this in our seed starting mix. When we repot into plants, we'll use it. Now that we're doing a succession planting, we'll do this to each bed. Now granted also that each one of our beds is compost. We compost everything over here on the back side of our property. Horse manure and straw and leaves and plant, just anything you can think of that was once alive. That's what we use for bed. A lot of you will look, if you look into no-till gardening, you can do this with some cardboard on the ground and just start putting your compost right on top. Get rid of those weeds, and you're not destroying. Every time that you plow into your soil, you're moving around that microbiology in there. The whole ecosystem right there has been disrupted. So with this, we compost a layer of compost in the fall to put these beds to rest, and then when spring we start adding in the castings. And you see we have, we probably got, last year we got 47 jars of pickles in little beds. Not big gardens. Just some beds like this. I think we got 47, that's quart jars, not pint jars, quart jars of pickles. Got the same thing with tomatoes this year. So far, I just picked them. We've probably got, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 gallon buckets worth of tomatoes. These are my new favorite ones right here. If any of you guys look into black cherry tomatoes, this is when they're perfectly ripe. So you see where it starts getting dark. These things are sweet. They're not, when people say, oh, sweet beans are sweet, they're not sweet. They're really not. These are sweet. These are just like a cherry or something. We love these guys. Anyway, that's how you do that Anyway, guys, we got all this watered in real good. Now we're set. Now we just get out our normal watering, and we've given all these plants in here the best start that we possibly can. We've got the castings in there. Well, actually, it's a slow release particle, or if you will, fertilizer. It's not really a fertilizer. It helps with the other minerals and nutrients that are in the soil, making those available to your plants. The NPK is like 0.001, 0.001, 0.001, somewhere around there. Nobody can give you a definite number because everybody's castings is completely different, but the biology in there is what you're looking for. All right, guys, that's just another way to use castings.